Well, welcome, Liz. Thank you so much for being here today. We want to talk about the chapter chair role for being a volunteer leader with PIHRA. And Liz has been the chapter chair for South Orange County and knows a lot about the roles and responsibilities, has been very involved both as an HR leader and here at PIHRA. So Liz, why don't we start by telling us what are some of the key responsibilities of being a chapter chair?
Wow. First of all, it's very rewarding and you get to meet a whole bunch of people, but the most important thing is to be able to provide the benefits and the resources to HR professionals from a chapter perspective. South Orange County is one of the largest chapters we have, and the other thing is also the fact that, it's important that there be a hub for HR professionals to be able to come in and just know that there's a community that supports them, that is a resource to them, and they can definitely come in and, feed off of all of us that are part of this chapter. And I think that's very, very important.
Absolutely. Providing a resource for HR professionals, and especially at that chapter level, so they feel important, impacted. What would you say in terms of time commitment? If somebody is looking to run for chapter chair or vice chair, what does that look like? Because you're a volunteer leader and you already have a day job, as pretty much all of us volunteer leaders in PIHRA also have a day job. What does the time commitment look like in a month?
I think it varies from chapter to chapter. I know for us, being the fact that we are one of the larger chapters, it can vary, maybe about 10 to 20 hours a month. But it is very rewarding to know that not only are you an HR professional that is here and, you're contributing to the community. Not only that, but you are of a larger extension with the PIHRA organization. So it's one of those things that, yes, you put in your time and you volunteer, but the reward is so much greater because of just the mere fact that you're meeting so many people. You are, talking to different people about, hey, I have this situation, I have this issue, how can you guide me? What are some resources that PIHRA offers? And as a chapter chair, you guide them to that. And the volunteer opportunities are amazing, and I think that's the other part too. When you want to get involved with PIHRA or one of our chapters, you want to volunteer and get familiar with, hey, if I want to join the board, how do I do this? How do I know, that I can really give them my time? And so volunteering is a great way to do that and to really find out if, I can contribute, I can do this, so I want to join the board.
I love that. You keep talking about how rewarding it's been, and I definitely have seen that in your case and so many volunteer leaders for sure. What have been some of your rewards professionally, maybe personally as well?
Wow. Personally, I want to say that I've made so many great friendships, so many great connections. Professionally, you become a resource as well. I do HR consulting now, and it's just great to be able to talk to other HR peers and say, hey, Liz, can I pick your brain for something? Hey, I need help in this area for development or training, or even small to medium-sized companies that come here and have a membership and say, hey, we don't have an HR person in-house. Can you be an advisor to us? So it opens up great opportunities for you, not just in a professional level, but also on a personal level. And, I've been in HR for over 25 years, and PIHRA has been a family to me. Honestly, it really has. And just to see the growth and the development of how PIHRA has grown, but not only just with that, it also has been just the amount of HR peers that you get to meet.
Absolutely. If somebody's running for chapter chair, it's an elected position, a one-year term, and you can certainly run for subsequent terms as well. What are the main responsibilities? You're overseeing a whole chapter that has various positions, such as vice chair, which is also elected, treasurer, secretary, membership, and I know in different chapters, for example, in your chapter, sometimes you have sponsorship chair, you have a certification chair. Some chapter boards have more with others. What is your job? What does it really entail?
Your job is to ensure that you are providing resourceful events for your members. It's also very important to know that you are providing topics, seminars, speakers, presentations that are involving HR trends. But you also want to make sure that every committee within your board is sufficiently, what do you want to say, full. You have the proper people in place to execute those committees, to make sure that you are providing those resources through each committee to not only the chapter members, but also as any guest that comes in and that wants to say, hey, what do you have? And we get those questions a lot. We get questions from guests that say, hey, I want to think about joining. What are some of the committees that you have, and what type of resources do you provide as a chapter? And yes, to your point, every chapter is different. Every chapter has different committees, and that's what I love about PIHRA, is that we structure our chapters to ensure that we are tailoring to our communities. So South Orange County, it's a big community, and we want to make sure that we're paying attention to the needs of those HR peers and say, what would you like to see? What are some ideas or some of the topics that you feel that need attention? I still struggle with this and I still want to get information in this area, so can you do a presentation on that? Perfect. It's about listening to those HR peers and also adjusting to each committee and each presentation that you have within your chapter. And so, I enjoy it.
That's fantastic. On a practical level, you're also in charge of running your monthly board meetings as a chapter chair, getting them together. Do you do yours virtually or in person?
We do both.
Okay.
So we alternate. I mean, COVID changed a lot of things. So we are doing a hybrid type of board meeting. So 1 month we meet in person and the other month we do a Zoom. And it's just more of the convenience of it, but I'm a people person, so I always enjoy to be in front of the board members, and it's just really good to be able to see everyone at least every other month, and well, technically really every month, because we have an event every month. So, but yeah, it's just great to come together.
I love that. So at the chapter level, then you get to really create your own microcosm, I feel like, of PIHRA, right? And then there's the larger board, and of course you have a regional rep, and in your case it's the South regional rep that takes care of your chapter, the San Diego, which is not a chapter but kind of a community committee, and then of course you have the North Orange County chapter. That's just, for example, in Liz's area, whichever chapter chair position you're looking to run for. Would you recommend that somebody just directly goes into being a chapter chair? Maybe they have a lot of volunteer leadership experience but not in PIHRA, or would you recommend, where would they start if they've never volunteered with PIHRA before?
So we like our volunteers to come in and volunteer for the board, and then that way get a good feel about what the board is like, attending board meetings, and then of course attending the events as being a support team. And at that point, you make the decision if it's a match. And if it's a match, we bring you into the committee as a board member. And there's not to say, how long you can even stay. If you enjoy what you're doing and you've been a great asset to the community, why not? We've had board members that have been a part of the board since, 4 or 5 years, even longer. So, but yeah, we really enjoy that, and we definitely encourage that you volunteer first.
Awesome. So if you're thinking of running for chapter chair and you haven't had any previous PIHRA leadership experience, it sounds like Liz is suggesting volunteer at your chapter level, maybe not first vice chair or chair. Pick something, be involved. They would love to have you in whatever chapter you're involved with. And then you can run maybe for vice chair. You can also feel which chapter position is right for you, from programs to membership to treasurer to secretary. There's so many different positions. And then as the chair or the vice chair, you're sort of overseeing all of them. Well, Liz, we really appreciate all of your contribution to PIHRA, the entire HR community, and thank you so much for telling us a little bit about the chapter chair position with PIHRA.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And join PIHRA. You won't regret it.